Hi guys, I'm Aisha.
I'm Emily,
Welcome to Perked Up Parenting.
where coffee is required
Laundry is optional.
and motherhood is always worth talking about.
In the last 7 days, I've become a professional gamer. And if you watch our YouTube, you can see how it's changed how I look on our podcast.
She looks good.
I'm really rocking the like 2000s like earmuff headphones right now.
You look
Listen,
cool. I should have grabbed Cameron so we could have matched.
yeah. Fun fact, guys, we both are married to gamers, so that's cool. Um, but yeah, the oh my gosh, it's a child.
I thought it was a ghost. Because you can't see the child.
It's too small. Um, yeah, so I was having problems. We've been having problems with my audio for the last like 3 weeks. And so to remedy it, I decided to use like the computer, which uh, I can't ever figure out because it's a very fancy computer, fancier than I have the capabilities of working. But I got it to work today, guys. But the trade-off was I had to wear big gaming headphones. So, oh, you're fragrant. That will have to wait.
That is not the baby I was expecting you to pull up either. I was like, whoa, your 1 month old is huge.
I've been told. I've been told he's huge.
Massive.
Well, let's do a drink highlight to start it off. Emily?
Well, I can drink coffee a little bit now, these, but it's almost empty because this is our second time attempting this episode.
Um, I have no coffee beans. I ran out and I didn't want to go last night at 10 o'clock at night because we had just gotten back from camping. Buddy. And then I tried to get up and go this morning, but the two little boys weren't going to let me. So here we are,
Coffeeless.
coffeeless. So to be fair though, I did run out earlier today and grab a coffee, and I forgot about that the first time that we recorded. So
I feel like I got sick so soon after we recorded and stopped drinking coffee and started drinking like nonsense that people are gonna think that I just like I
guys,
don't
we do
know.
love coffee.
We
It's
do.
like we hardcore love coffee. Like so hardcore. It's just been a
It's just
season.
been rough. It really
Yeah.
has been.
I have no excuse. And I have had coffee most weeks. Um yeah, not today. So it's hard to tell, guys, if you're watching YouTube, because this is not the greatest quality videoing. I'm burnt to a crisp, and so is every single person in my family because we went to Yellowstone, which we're going to talk about camping with big families.
I feel like a sunburn is the mark of a successful vacation.
Listen, when you go camping with the Alexanders, like we got back last night, my mother-in-law messaged me immediately um, because she tracks me. And so within an hour of me being home, I got a message, welcome home. I hope you guys had fun. And I'm like, yeah, we did. No big deal. Um, uh, but we took an Alexander camping trip, which means we were up and in the morning we wouldn't leave till like 10, but man, when we were gone, we were doing the things. There was hiking continuously.
What was the temperatures in Yellowstone?
Actually, it was really nice. It was like 60s, so I
Oh,
felt like it was
perfect.
perfect, except it was very sunny, like
Hmm.
60s and sunny. And there was like but then it was freezing at night. So like we froze to death and didn't pack adequately. The first night we all almost died. Um, my mom had to give us some more sleeping bags. So
Go, mom.
yeah, she had the good stuff. She had like the
Proof that even as adults, we still need our moms.
so we went camping with it was my side of the family. But I joke because the Alexanders, they're like wild travelers. Like they go and they are going. Like you do not sit if you go on an Alexander trip. You don't sit at all. It's illegal. Um, but we went with my side this time, and that's a different story. My side wants to leisurely sit around. We park our butts somewhere and we hang out. And we'll like go see stuff, but we don't go see everything. But that's not me anymore, apparently. Um, but we went with my side, so it was me and my oldest sister, my older sister and only sister. She's 12 years older. Um, and then five of her six kids. Her oldest one came, who is married and has two kids. Um, and then my mom and my stepdad came. And so, which my niece, who's married, was like, when me and my husband, when our kids are grown and gone, and we're gonna do all this stuff. We're gonna get a van, and I'm like, girl, you're still camping with your parents. I'm still camping with my parents. Your mom is still camping with You're camping with your grandmother.
Yep.
They don't leave. I never leave. Still
That's
bumming.
that's exactly what I want growing up, like for the rest of my life.
Oh, I'm still
That's what I
bumming
can't think
sleeping
of yet.
bags off my mom. She fed my family dinner one night. I didn't
That's
ask her
lovely.
to, just as disclaimer. She offered, and I said yes.
That was nice.
Yeah, yeah.
I would never say no to being fed.
I never say no to food. I had a couple people who were like, "Hey, I know like you're like past postpartum, like time for meal drop-offs, but can I still bring you something?" And I was like, "I'm never not postpartum enough for food."
I always want a night off of cooking. Yes, bring
Yes.
the food.
Also, I just feel like when someone cooks food for me, it's like their literal sweat is in that food. Like they like literally put
Yes.
love and sweat into it. I'm there for that. That's love.
I agree. Even if it's a gross meal, it still tastes better than anything I would have made myself. Not that anyone's ever brought me gross food,
I don't
but
know about that. We've had some. I won't share publicly because I would never want to share publicly, but someday I'll tell you, Emily, about some of the meals we've gotten. 90%, and listen, nothing recently. So if you've given us food recently, or like outside of the first baby is a little rough. We had some interesting meals, but like everyone has done such a great job, and I'll always take free food. So yeah. So we're talking about camping though today, camping with a lot of
yeah.
kids. So uh, Emily and I didn't talk for 3 days straight, and I got back into service yesterday, and I had thoughts that I just dropped in our chat. I barely said
Yeah,
hi.
there was no, hey, I'm back. It was just immediately jumping into,
Like
I've
this,
got
we have
thoughts.
social statuses in America. We have a scaffolding of like hierarchy of how we appreciate travel and what travel is appropriate for like child development. And come talk to me about this, Emily.
I was there for it.
And she's like, "Can I knit socks?" And I was like, "Stop talking to me. That's awful. Don't do that. Talk to me about this." I got better. I went back to the sock conversation with a better attitude today. I'm bitter
You
about
did. I appreciated your help.
I'm bitter about socks. I just hate 4 point like I can't handle working with four individual needles.
I looked up a video on that, immediately was overwhelmed and confused, turned it off.
So, and listen, guys, this has nothing to do with our topic. I want to try the magic loop one that I showed you because I always prefer
Mhm.
knitting on a magic loop. I only do cabled knitting, but I also get overwhelmed with small projects and having to pull the loop through and manage like all of that excess loop. So we'll see.
See, when I saw the magic loop video, I got confused because I was thinking magic circle in crochet. And I was just like, this is not a circle. This
No,
is.
no, this is the thing. When you're knitting, all your stitches are actively on there. That's what makes it. I love knitting. I love the look of it, but it's frustrating because if you even drop a stitch, it's very hard to just pull out a
Applying.
row. It's very hard to go back. But I want to be better at it. This is a goal of mine someday. My mom's a phenomenal knitter. She makes gorgeous things. Never makes a mistake. She knows how to fix
Okay,
them.
well, I'm gonna come visit your mom and she can teach me. We'll have
Yeah.
a class.
Okay, so camping, traveling. with I have a head in my way, so that's awkward. Um,
It's a cute head.
Traveling with a lot of kids. I had so many thoughts, and I should have like written them down, but like at the core, I told Anthony yesterday on the trails, we were like doing our last ditch, like leaving Yellowstone, seeing the last things on the way out, and I was like so frustrated because I just get there's only two spectrums of comments you get. It's either like, whoa, that's a lot of kids, or like you literally someone as I was packing up yesterday looked at me across the camping ground and was like, well, you're brave. And I was like, should I be home? I mean, I guess I am brave, but like, what do you expect me to do? Stay home with my five children? I,
I feel like it's almost easier to take 5 kids out into nature than it is to sit at home.
yeah, I agree. But then like I did have my like shout out, not that this will ever get to them. There was three college boys yesterday who saw me. A majority of the time that I was packing, that we were through Yellowstone, I had was double carrying. So I had one on my back, usually Moses, sometimes but the 4-year-old, and then Oggs was in the front. Um, and I was carrying both of them too yesterday, and three college guys saw me and they were like, "Dang, you're the boss, Mama. You get it." And I was like, yeah, seeing those national parks with five kids, man, I'm dedicated. But there's
You
like
know,
only those two spectrums, and you always hear of both of them.
I feel like this is so funny that I have actually had great experiences with like teenage to college aged boys. They seriously are the most supportive. They're like,
Those
yes,
are the real MVPs.
they really are.
I, and okay, this is the other thing. People from like Asian countries.
Yeah.
They I am out there on someone's phone with all five of my children because she
Hmm.
like this whole group stopped us and they were like stroking my baby, which I was like, it's a good thing they met me, not another American mom that was gonna bite their hand off. Um, but like they come up and they like stroke the babies and they're like, oh, they're like so excited. And I literally had a group yesterday that asked if they could take a picture with me and my five children. And as we walked away, I said, oh, they're like gonna take that and be like, look, this woman had five whole children. Can you believe
You're
that?
like a roadside attraction now.
I felt like it. I kept being stopped. I was stopped multiple times. So the college guys, the families traveling from like Asian countries, they were great. It was all of the grouchy American people that
Americans.
hate children. But I
We
told
had the same experience.
we got like really off. I told Anthony on that on that yesterday. I like walking. That's weird because I feel like we're caught in this weird dichotomy of people saying you need to go travel, go travel, go travel, go. I see it all the time in the homeschool groups. They're like, it's the best thing I've done for my children, for their education, is to travel, travel, travel. But then it's like, also though, travel outside the US, like that's what counts. And then it's like, but if you have too many kids, it's not really socially acceptable to travel places. Like there's things are set up for like 1 to 3 kids, not
Yeah.
five or more. Like it's just not how people are ready to see you travel. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It's just a weird like everyone saying go travel and then oh, but that's too many kids. Like you gotta pick and choose.
Yeah, like you're taking up way too much space in the
Yeah,
world if you have more than. I feel like even 3 is pushing it.
yeah, I do too. I feel like the majority of families we saw was 1 or 2 kids, and I believe
It is weird that that's like the push is to travel either outside the US or Disney World. That seems to always be the vacation like that you have to take
which
your
is
kids on.
ironic because all the people, like so many of the people we saw yesterday and like the last three
Mhm.
days, were traveling from outside the country to come see these attractions. Like
Yeah.
they were there to see
Yeah.
things that we can
We
literally
have
drive to.
amazing national parks here, and like the fact that people are not is so excited to go see them is crazy to me.
I like we want to travel internationally, but we also were
Yeah.
like at this point getting this is the thing. Anthony and I refuse to break up travel and only travel with one or two of our kids.
Mhm.
I've like really doubled down on the whole like community oriented, especially in the little years. I might feel different about it as I get older, but in the years, I feel like this is what is building those like sibling bonds. Like we are having communal like experiences. But so we won't like so right now is not the time for us to internationally travel because we don't make enough to buy everyone tickets. Like that's a lot, but we have amazing things to go travel and see in the US. I just don't feel like everyone's like make sure you get them to Spain. It's life-changing. Okay, well, Zion might be life-changing too. I don't know.
I want to go there so bad.
Me too. Me
It's
too.
on my list.
Uh
Yeah. Plus, air travel with children is just a logistical nightmare. I would much rather strap everyone in the car seats and get in the car and go versus trying to bring everyone through TSA and then put them on an airplane for X amount of hours and get them to hold still.
yeah. No,
And then if we're in my car, I only have to worry about them bugging me, not
yes.
ow, on the nose, not like 900 other people.
Well,
Bye.
that's the other thing is like it's like travel, like make sure you get your kids out. And I see people who talk about, oh, we travel so much, it's just the greatest thing in the world. Okay, but like realistically, if you're traveling with 5 kids, you're not going to be able to coerce them to behave at the standard that everyone believes they should. And if you
Yeah,
don't have kids, you don't understand that you quite literally can't control them in their every action.
I have always said that the most stressful part about going out, and I mean like out anywhere, not traveling even, but like even just to a grocery store or something. The most stressful part about taking kids and a lot of them out in public is just the pressure to control them, yeah, and like impress other people and like hold your children to these really high expectations for
Yeah,
behavior that are just maybe not even like age appropriate.
yeah.
So,
Um, I also thought it was interesting as I was talking through like we push travel, it's so good for your kids, but then like definitely have to be of a certain income level to travel with 5 kids. And I was like, I wonder if this is a big deterrent for having more kids, is this pressure to we can only have as many as we can travel abroad with or afford to go to all these cool places, like which gets into a conversation of like the value of travel versus the value of human life and it like oh and like what is travel like is it supposed to be for comfort or is it supposed to be for like experience because they'll say that like that's toted this whole like travel it's so good for you and it's such a great experience but then like there seems to be an expectation that it has to be comfortable or it's supposed to be comforting or relaxing or rejuvenating and the reality is that's rarely the case with 5 kids.
yeah, it's type 2 fun,
It is. It is. Like
which
I
I
said,
like.
we like
I always look
died
forward to it.
the first night. We don't ever do anything
And
but camp because that's where we're at. Um, Also, though, I don't know if we'd ever. I genuinely like if you met my husband, you'd know what I'm talking about when I say even if we had more money, or like the affordability, because we're kind of reaching a point we might need 2 hotel rooms. I don't
mhm.
think he'd get one. I genuinely think that wouldn't matter
It's like,
if
well, we
we
have
were
the choice.
millionaires. We're gonna camp.
It's fun.
It is fun. It's fun. It's a good experience. But it's not
I,
comfortable. Like I wasn't
no,
comfortable the whole 3 nights.
no, I've gone camping massively pregnant before, and that is the worst sleep I've ever had in my life, but it was still great.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it is great, but it's never like I think that's why people look at you like when a kid steps in their way or something, because it's an inconvenience. And on like when you're traveling, you expect not to be inconvenienced. It's supposed to be like comfort and like fulfilling. And then when the 4-year old steps in front of you or like dodges around you or something, it's not like it lacks some of that convenience. And I'm
Hmm.
like, okay, well, is the object of traveling the experience or the convenience and comfort? Like,
So like you need to travel with your kids, but also make them invisible somehow.
yeah, I've been working on
You
it.
know, I've been seeing that even with things like Disney World. I've been seeing a lot of adults who are annoyed that children are loud and bouncing around waiting in lines for rides. I'm
This is
like,
actually
it's
what annoys me. Do not come for me. I know I have friends who are very much Disney adults. Don't come for me, but Disney, like, millennials need to back off of, uh, like, grasping and holding on to child things. Like, those things
yeah,
need to be for the children. Like, if you go to Disney World, know that you are second rate to
hmm,
every child there because it is for them. As
yeah, it's their
millennials,
little world.
we are not entitled to things from my childhood just because they're from my childhood. Actually, we're just not entitled to those things. It's
Yep.
unpopular opinion. I'm gonna get roasted for that. I'm like literally scared. Disney adults scare me when they get
We're gonna
criticized.
we're gonna blow up on this episode, and it's gonna be because you said that.
Oh my gosh.
It's all gonna be hate. No, I actually laugh because I know this about you already. And I saw this Winnie the Pooh cup, and I love Winnie the Pooh, and I was like, if I buy this, Aisha's gonna make fun of me for being a Disney adult.
And if you're a Disney adult, I just like make sure that you remember that's the children's, not
Yeah.
yours. Cameron,
Yep.
this is the second time we're recording today because we're having issues with my audio. And the first time Emily shared that Cameron kept thinking I was in Disneyland.
It just yeah. He was like, "Where is she again? Disney?" And I'm like, "No, I don't think you could pay her to go. I really don't."
Probably not. I don't think anywhere with that many people is ever going to be magical to me. So
I'd go if I was rich, but I'm not, so I won't.
I also feel like if I this is okay, this is the other aspect of traveling. When we travel, I think actually traveling with a large family is very affordable if you're willing to do the things to make it affordable. So, like
Yes.
when we travel, we do not eat out. We do not buy snacks on the road. I pack everything, and we eat sandwiches or wraps for every lunch. We eat oatmeal for every breakfast. It does not matter if my children think they are dying. Um, and for dinners, we have like rotations of things, like a lot of hot dogs, a lot of can't we do a lot of chili. Actually, I do a lot of chili because I can either prep it ahead of time, freeze it, and then let it thaw in our cooler,
Mm-hmm.
and then just warm it up. Or and it's just one pot, and that's easy to clean. Or my mom introduced me this last time. The meal she fed us was on accident. She made rice-a-roni with canned chicken, and she was like, "This is my go-to for camping. It's only one pan and water and canned chicken." And she was like, "It's easy." And I was like, "Oh, this is easy." Like, so that might go into our rotation. Who knows? But like, we are thrifty, so and we also stay at like the dirt cheap, sketchy campgrounds. So
Yeah, we're doing the podcast, Maggie. I'll be out in a little bit.
Mag,
No, I'll
Mags
be
is
out
the
in just a
best.
minute. So,
This is the real life,
um,
guys.
we like to do pancakes a lot when we go camping. That's like my favorite thing.
I was actually thinking I
I'll eat
should have
them for
done
all three meals.
pancakes. I should have done pancakes. And you know what? This is like a mother-in-law hack. My mother-in-law will do like scrambled eggs, but she puts her eggs in like she'll clean out a milk carton and put her eggs in the milk carton and then beforehand. And I was thinking I could do literally the same thing with pancakes. I
Oh
could just
yeah,
make the pancake mix and put it right down there next to the ice. It could be our first 2 days of meals. We also like stagger out. Like I plan like the freshest things the first 2 days, and then as we get into our camping trips, we break into the things that were frozen and are now thawing. So like we did chili this time, and I had a brick of frozen ground beef, and it was like night two, and I
Yeah.
it was stunning. It wasn't as thawed as I would have liked it to be. I probably should have done it night three, um, but like we are thrifty and it's affordable. Like we most the food that we're having is budgeted into what we would have been eating at home anyways. And then there's some extra, we always buy extra snacks. We have a massive snack bag. We go to grocery outlet, we load up on the things we wouldn't normally be eating.
Hmm.
And but we buy very little when we're out. Energy drinks and coffee. That's what I get my coffees pretty much every day. And honestly, guys, if I'm being brutally honest, a lot of times I just get the like coffee at the gas station that's gross, but it keeps me going, and at this point it tastes like road trip to me.
So this is vacation coffee.
This is vacation coffee. It's not as good as mine at home, but it's cheap.
Yep.
But like the sacrifice, you know it, to travel affordably. And it's not convenient or comfortable like on any level, but it's like I actually do think traveling is important, and so we make it happen and with everyone. And so,
We don't do a ton of traveling to destinations because most of our traveling is just to come visit home. And that's always a huge trip because we live so far away. But we try to make like fun out of it. So like the last time we drove from Idaho to move to North Carolina, we did it in 8 days, and we stopped at like all the different national parks on the way, which was super fun. But and we get into national parks for free.
I noticed that when we pulled up, I was like, "Oh, Emily and Cameron got in for free." Just so you
Yeah.
know, you're still part of my conversation even when I can't talk to you.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I talk about you when you're not around too.
Great.
Not good things though. No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
Yeah, so we stopped at like all the different national parks, and that was fun. We didn't camp at any of them though because we couldn't pack camping gear in our car with all of our belongings because we were moving. So we did stay at hotels, but it was also paid for because it was military move. So that's how I travel for cheap.
yeah, you
Just move
travel on the military. When
on the
they move
military
you
side.
around, you make the most of it. But
Yeah.
like, do you guys ever do like day trips out?
Oh, yeah, actually, especially when we didn't travel at all in Hawaii because there's nowhere to travel to. It's an island. Cameron and I went to Maui together one time for a business trip, technically, um, but I mean, we went to the beaches and stuff, obviously. Didn't camp in Hawaii because I was too afraid of centipedes crawling into the tent. But when we lived in California, we lived in 29 Palms, which is like 4 hours away from San Diego, 4 hours away from Vegas, 4 hours away from Phoenix. So you're like right in the middle of all the fun things. And then we also lived right next to Joshua Tree National Park and
Oh
Big Bear.
man,
So we went to Big Bear and Joshua Tree all the time.
I want to
And
go to
then
all of the California parks so bad. They look
I love
amazing.
them. They're so pretty. And then we went to Phoenix for just a day trip a lot to go to the zoo. We got a zoo pass. I am not above driving 4 hours for just a fun trip
Yeah.
to the zoo.
Oh yeah.
I'm fine with that.
I feel like 4 hours, and this is the other thing, is depending on how like dedicated you are, 4 hours to a destination is not bad. We don't do as many day trips, but we do like last year we tried to do as many like weekend trips as we could. So we take off on like Friday after Anthony got home, and he'd like get off a couple hours early, but nothing crazy, like still
Hmm.
within his normal work schedule. And we'd take off, uh, pitch a tent really quick that night, hang out and do stuff like that, during the day, and then come back Saturday night. So it was literally an overnight because we both had commitments on Sunday mornings. And
Yeah.
so we'd do a lot of overnight trips like that. And we went down, best trip we did last year like that was to the hot springs, which yeah, it was an experience. Go to some hot
That's
springs.
cool.
Don't take your children.
I've heard that because there's naked people.
Yeah. There's sometimes you have to race an old man. to a hot spring because you know he's going to be naked there and you want your children to have it. So, but we do stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's also fun. But again, it doesn't make for a restful weekend because you're not sleeping like at all. Like we are pitching a tent at 9 o'clock, feeding everyone sandwiches and falling in bed, getting up the next morning and like driving around,
Lovely.
hiking, and then heading
Yeah.
home and not home till 9. Like it's literally just over 24 hours, and you're driving like 8 of them.
Yeah, I think that as a parent, especially with lots of kids, you just have to assume you're going to need a vacation from your vacation. You're just going to be exhausted. You need like 2 days of sleep. And that's the part of the fun of it. Children.
Good news, guys, there's a spider in our house, and the 4-year-old is freaking out.
That is scary.
Listen, guys, you're gonna get nothing but the absolute realist here. Children interruptions and everything. If it wasn't, obviously I was gone over the weekend, which is why we're recording on a Monday morning, Monday afternoon, and our husbands are not home. So currently, under our watch together, we have 10 kids, and we're recording a podcast. So this is
But this is so perfect because this is exactly what we wanted this to be, was just fitting it in between.
like, share, subscribe, get us some
Yeah, all the things.
visibility, guys. Because we want all the real mobs here. If you're fake, we don't
Hmm.
want you. So just like don't share with your fake friends, just the real ones, and don't tell them about that we talked about Disney adults all the time.
Yeah, don't send them here
Don't
if they're gonna be mad.
not to this specific podcast, but any of the
Pick a
others.
different episode.
Yeah. Any other thoughts about traveling with little children?
Oh, when you guys, okay, this is like a random question. When you guys are road tripping, how long is the drive to Yellowstone? Like 8 hours?
It was like, yeah, actually it was probably 8 by the time we camped like down
Yeah.
in the center of it. So yeah, it was like
Okay.
8. Yeah.
So do you guys do like screens in the car or do you make them just play? Talk to each other?
Uh,
Yodos?
so this time the only one who had a screen in the car was the oldest. He played Minecraft for like 40 minutes of a drive on both 40 minutes there, 40 minutes back. Other than that, it was Yodo's sleep. I put coloring set. This was actually the trip we did the least amount of things, and we were fine. Um, we did coloring in the back for the two girls. We did Yodo's, and actually on the way home, we just listened to Yodo books on my phone, um, all together. So we actually got through like 2 Goosebumps on the way back, and we listened to them together, and that was fun.
Nice.
Um, but
The
yeah,
last the that last road trip we did across the country, because we were going to be in the car for 8 days, and I had gotten rid of all of our screen devices and was like determined to do this the old-fashioned way, I guess. And the reason I actually did that is because I feel like when I don't have 5 screens to hand out to people, so I didn't want to deal with the fighting of whose turn it was. And then I've also noticed in the past when we were driving like from California to Idaho, which is 20 hours, that it just like made them crabby. And then they would have so much energy when they got out of the car that we couldn't sleep. So I was hoping that if they just kept working their little brains and talking, that they might be a little more tired. So my mom packed like surprised us, and she went to the dollar store and just like got everybody their own little bin and filled it with like coloring books and sticker books and little knick-knacky things and just whatever fun stuff she could find and snacks. And actually, that was super fun. And then they all had their Yodos too. But we spent a lot of time listening to, uh, oh my gosh, what's that podcast that Anthony introduced us to? The
Haunted Cosmos.
Haunted Cosmos, yeah. That became Emery's favorite thing in the world because we listened to it. That and the Hunger Games book on Audible. We just listened to that. So we bounced between Yodos and podcasts and coloring, and it was good.
Up, I was like Anthony and I were talking about like how we travel, like what we do during traveling, and it like I just remember sticking headphones in my ears and just listening to music for hours on end. But you know what? I also vividly remember that when we'd drive to Wyoming, which we only did like twice growing up, we would we we'd put a TV in the car and a
Mhm.
VHS player, and we'd like jimmy
Heck
it
yeah.
in and bungee cord it down, and we'd only have like 5 VHS tapes, so we'd have like 5 movies to watch.
If I had a car that had those, like the built-in DVD players or something, I think I'd be perfectly fine with everybody watching a movie together.
Yeah, I feel like I would be too. We've talked about that if we ever get a vehicle with a screen in it, like limitations. Like I would not use it around town, but like on road
Yeah.
trips, that'd be great.
Yep.
But then I don't want one of those because then I'd have to hear about it around town all the time.
I can just imagine you're like, we're gonna drive 8 minutes to Walmart, and they're like, can we watch a movie on
Yeah,
the
can we
way?
watch a movie? And I'm like, no, meditate.
Won't even get through the credits.
Yeah.
Meditate. See, I don't remember. Go. I can't like really recall going on very many road trips as a kid. I don't know if I just didn't or if I just don't remember them.
Hmm.
But I don't remember ever doing anything in the car either.
Yeah, I
But
can't
I've
remember
always
doing
been
much in the
someone who
car.
is happy to sit with my thoughts. I can get lost in my own thoughts real easy.
I
Like,
read a book
I love it.
on the way. I was like reading and
Yeah, that's
reading
weird.
and yeah,
I
I
would have
know.
puked.
Yeah,
I would have got so sick.
I
There's
know.
no way. I always want to crochet in the car, but the same thing. I get immediately nauseous. I can't even look at my phone. If you
Really?
text me when I'm in the car and I respond to you, just know that I'm doing that knowing I'm gonna get violently car sick.
I really appreciate that.
Cameron will tell me, "Can you look something up while he's driving?" And I'm like,
You're
"No,"
like, no,
or
do you
you're
want me
gonna
to
probably
vomit
pull the
on
car
you?
over because I will puke all over your lap.
Yeah. Okay, top tip
I'm
for
not.
traveling with kids.
Lower expectations.
Yeah, I was just
Like,
gonna say,
I don't mean that in a negative way, but
don't believe that it's gonna be, if you're doing something fun, you're still gonna hear complaining. It doesn't actually matter.
yeah.
It's not actually gonna be a great memory until like a year after you get home. Then it's great.
Oh yeah, my kids now are like, remember when we went to that place with the water that exploded at Yellowstone? I'm like, yeah, the one that you complained about sitting. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
Sure
yeah,
do.
no, no. Everyone experiences this. So like lower your
Yep.
expectations. It's not going to be rejuvenating. Make sure you plan a recuperating day afterwards. We woke up this morning and the kids were like, "It's recovery day, right?" And I was like, "It's recovery week, my friends." That
I
was
always make sure that we're either getting back on a weekend or that Cameron has taken 1 to 2 days off of work on top of whatever we've done because we all really need that day to like one rest and two like put things back together.
yeah. Ultimately, when you're traveling as a family, it's more about the experience,
Hmm.
not about rest.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Any housekeeping we need to do.
Um.
If you're a mom and you do cool things, let us know. We need people to
Oh yeah.
interview for a
We would
fun
love to interview
series.
you. Also, maybe we might have a book club if you guys think that's cool.
Let us know. We're brainstorming. We're kind of like projecting by like the
Hmm.
end of the year having a Patreon option where you pay like the amount of what you might spend on coffee every month, and instead,
$100.
yeah,
Just kidding.
you could pay what you spend on coffee every month and then hang out with us and drink the homemade coffee instead. And we're thinking that through like episode things that would be extra that you'd receive, and one of those was cool moms, like interviewing cool moms who do cool things. So we actually have 2 interviews absolutely cemented in for the summer. We have a mom who is running a 100-mile race this the next 2 weeks actually, and a mom training to be a midwife while having her fourth baby. Um,
Yes.
so, but we need some more
And it doesn't
interviews.
have to be anything that's like crazy. Like
You,
sometimes being a cool mom is just like, you survived a really hard season and you
yeah,
want to tell us how you did that.
maybe you have a cool hobby. Maybe you collect things. Maybe,
Maybe you want to teach me how to knit socks
oh gosh.
live on the internet. It should be really fun.
That was one of our ideas. We also thought we might have a book club someday. This is just ideas. So, yeah, be looking forward to that. Start saving your coffee money.
Come hang out with us even more.
Yeah, awesome. Well,
The five of you that watch.
yeah, you five.
Yeah, well, thanks for hanging out with us today and listening to us, you know, gab about travel.
Yeah. Okay.
All
Bye,
right.
guys.
Well, bye.